right now.
Okay, so I'll be recording this. Hopefully, I'm recording on two different things just in case I screw up on one or the other. Mariana, are you okay with this being posted on YouTube? Okay.
Yes, that's fine.
Perfect.
How many people are we expecting?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. It's supposed to be 20.
Party.
I think one might have canceled a little bit earlier. We'll see.
How many we got so far?
Right now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, plus me, 14 so far.
That's not bad.
A few more. I think a couple people were going to be late and kind of popping in and out. So
yeah.
I think this is probably going to be the start of the group. If we want to, are you already recording, Tessa?
Yes, I am. So what I'm gonna do is, can I have everyone smile? I don't know who's all gonna show up, but this way I can put this as the main picture. All right, 1, 2, Mariana.
Recording in progress.
I don't know.
Sorry. What? Continue. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Thank you.
Everybody's like, show please.
So weird. I just look like my mother when I do Zoom. I don't look like this in real life, and then I look like her. So
You look great.
thank you.
We're all just being ourselves.
Oh, cool.
That's all that matters.
That's it.
Right, so just so everybody knows, as far as my end goes, I'm here. I've got us connected. I may be in and out though, because I've got a young man that's, if I don't keep him focused, he gets off task and does things. He's like, oh, mom's not watching. I can go do this.
Exactly. I hear you. Yep.
So apologies if I'm in and out, but I'll be definitely listening in the background, even if I have to pop out.
The mom should be so great at trading since we are such good multitaskers.
Yeah, if you can get the time away from the kids.
So. Yeah, if your attention's not going in 1,000 directions and you're able to actually concentrate a little bit.
Yeah, Mariana's got it made.
I don't have children.
Silence is golden.
I do not have children.
Well, I guess we all learn under different circumstances, and that probably adds to whatever strengths and weaknesses we might have. It depends on your situation. But I mean, I at this point I'm super slow because I'm a mom. I just got called from another job because I have my little business from home. So I've been basically just staying back and just studying because I really don't have time right now to actually be trading. Not even like paper trading. It's just time to just sit down and concentrate. So for now, I'm in this for the long run. So as long as I'm studying and I'm watching the market and I'm doing these meetings, I mean, it's just money in the bank, right?
Hold on 1 second, Lorena. Whose stuff? Who am I hearing with lots of stuff in the background?
Yeah, not me.
My family's all in Florida. I had to stay here because I had pool equipment problems. So you know we're in a sort of.
It might have been me. My son's slamming toys around the background, so I'll just mute myself.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Teresa. Yeah, I was trying to it doesn't tell me who's got stuff going on. So, yeah.
Well, who traded today?
I sadly did not get to.
What did you trade? How did you do?
Well, that was my problem because I did GMER today, and I really thought it was gonna end well, and I took a late day trade, and it was like, that didn't do what I thought it was gonna do. So, I just expected it. I just expected it to do what I wanted it to do, and I didn't get out in time. So because the news was so good, I stayed in, which is like bad, but I should have got out and then got back in, but I stayed in. So now I'm 10 cents down on it. But problem is I have too many stocks that I'm watching, and they're almost there. I think I bought good companies. We should probably put our stuff up online or something, but
So you're still,
what was I trading? I have to look at my stuff.
you're still on it, or did you sell?
No, I bought it at the late day at 72 cents, and I'm looking at my stuff right now, and it went to 62. I was really mad because it was going up for a while, and I thought, well, I can't do two things now. No, I'm in a bunch of stuff right now. I'm in all the like HPIL, and I'm really mad about VXIT right now. That one's my worst loser. But if I looked at my TD Ameritrade account that shows what percentage of stock I win on each stock I sell, I'm at 16%, which is like, oh, that's good, because I make a little profit on each one I sell. Now, I still have a bunch of bags I'm holding, but my family's in Florida. I'm in Southern California. My family's in Florida right now, and I had to stay because we have a chlorine shortage in America, and I have a pool.
Interesting.
And
well, everybody's staying in their pools, I guess, at home.
Huh?
Everybody's staying at home. Everybody's staying at home using their pools. Is that why?
No, because they can't get drivers to take it from the factories to the stores, and so my pool guy says, "Yeah, your pool needs chlorine." I said, "Okay, yeah, I don't have any."
Oh God.
So I have to go beg chlorine from the pool stores every day and see who has what. But yeah, so it's like fun. But my family's in Florida; they're coming back, so actually I had the whole house to myself to like trade and just sort of spread everything out and not have anybody bothering me. I wish I had more to show for it for their time away, but it's I'm trying. I'm really trying.
Okay, that's exciting. Moments to yourself.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, I felt like, when I was in school, I studied 5 years of Spanish. And, just sort of living in Southern California, I thought I would use it more. But people who speak Spanish want to speak English. So they want to work on their English. And so I never really used my Spanish. So after 5 years, I can, order in a Mexican restaurant. That's about it. But I have a friend who did the immersion course for 6 months after not knowing any Spanish, and is fluent 20 years later in Spanish. Oh, wow. So I felt like this is going to be my 2 weeks of immersion into stocks and just sitting on my butt and watching as many videos as possible. And I have to say, I've learned a lot. I just wish I had a little bit more to show for it, at the end, like, okay, yeah, I made like a few hundred or something, but we're getting there. So
Good.
But I'm glad Mariana and others are on the line, so you can, troubleshoot us and whip us into shape.
For sure. Hey, Mel, are we ready to like shoot up Mariana with questions?
I'm ready. Bring it.
I think she's locked and loaded.
Okay. Well, I have a question. So, and I think I might have asked this before, but I particularly wanted to ask you, when do you suggest prepping? Do you prep the night before? Do you prep the morning off? Because I found that when I prep the night before, I feel like the next morning there's so many new things that I get sidetracked, and I tend to get into something else. And whatever I prepped the night before might have changed overnight, and it's just like a little, and I find myself in a little bit of a loss. Like I don't know what to do. So what are your suggestions? How do you do it?
So for me, especially when I was just starting, I would focus in really on like the ones that I would trade, like the patterns that kind of like made like the more sense to me. So I would write them down and keep track of them very clearly so you don't get overwhelmed, because there's a lot of tickers, but you want to kind of focus in on the strategies that you want to learn. Maybe it's breakouts, panic dip buys, first red base. So maybe those are the 3 that you want to keep track of. Unless, because there's just so many, it can be so overwhelming. Like in the morning, like maybe 10 NASDAQ gappers. I'm not looking at that because that's just not my comfort zone. So I will first write down maybe the 4 tickers that are on my comfort zone. And those are the ones that I'm always watching, having on my screen. That's what like I did in the beginning. And also for like prepping, I think it's very important to do it after market close, and in the morning,
Okay.
because you want to, like, what I do is, like, at night I kind of just think about, like, the whole thing, like, okay, how did I trade this, what do I want to look for tomorrow, how can I plan, where are some areas that I want to look at, but I'm not planning yet. And then the next day when I see the gap ups, the gap downs, I want to be able to see, okay, so today DPLS panic, yesterday I'm going to watch DPLS panic again, I'm going to look at 12, I'm going to look at point 12, I'm going to look at point 1, and that is, I will write the exact plan in the morning. But at night, I already am going to bed thinking, okay, this is what I want to see from tomorrow. LKNCY, I wanted a gap up. So not I'm planning on a gap down, but I already have my plans, but they're just not set in stone.
Right. So you just kind of have an idea where you're looking for the morning after, so you're not like.
Yeah. And then in the morning, it's like, okay, let's set it in stone. Write it on the watch list, put it out, and know that, like, it is what I will be trading. Those are the 4 tickers or the 5 that I am not going to be overwhelmed because I know what patterns they're on. So in the beginning, I just try to focus in on the strategies that I want to learn. Other than that, I'm not paying attention. I'm just focusing in on the ones that I want to learn.
Right. And then from those 4 or 5, not all of them might go through.
Yeah, not all of them. Yeah, like I had LKNCY yesterday, and then today I was looking for a breakout continuation, but it gapped down, so I just sold. So that is just like my plan is broken, and I was looking to sell higher, but instead I sold for a gap down. So everything just kind of, you have your plan, you know how you want to trade it, and you know your risk. That is the most important part of the plan, is your risk. And other than that, if it doesn't work out, then you just either get out or not trade it at all.
Right. That makes sense. Great. Thank you.
Mariana, can I ask, like, do you trade mostly the beginning of the day and the end of the day, or are you seated all day in front of the computer?
Well, it really depends. Like, I am sitting all day at the computer, but it's pretty much just learning, like just being there and kind of like responding to some questions and stuff. But other than that, it is like strictly 9:30 to 11. After that, most often than not, I lose. So I'm just like sitting there. Maybe I take like DPLS, panic. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? It was a midday trade. I took it because I was there and I was watching it, and I was like, I wasn't prepared for it, but it just happened. Sometimes like midday trade, and it's just very perfect for you that you take it. Other than that, I'm not taking any. And it, like, from your stats and what you write down, you kind of start to feel like what type of trader you are. Like, I am more of a volatile trader, so I look for the most volatile hours. But if I'm more of like a consolidation, breakout into late day swing trader, then I will take on like 1, 2, 3, 4 p.m. instead of the morning. It just really depends on your stats, like what you see in yourself and how your personality reacts to each of them. Maybe you're more of like a conservative one, so you kind of want to wait and see how they consolidate into power hour, or maybe you just want to get the quick morning action, which is the one that is the most volatile.
Do you cross-check all your stocks with like Twitter or different chat rooms? Like, you have your 4 and then you go, okay, let me just see what they say about it, or it's all you like, you are just convicted with, these are mine, I don't care what anybody else thinks?
Well, after you learn and like practice the most, you already know what you want to look at in a stock. So I am mostly like a chart-based pattern, so like a chart-based trader. So it's not really like news or whatever somebody says on Twitter. Like, it won't affect me if I know my plan and how I will trade it, because I've already watched it before. But in the beginning, I would make sure to grab as much information as I could, because I didn't really know much about the stocks or how they were going to react if they had bad news. But now I am more comfortable in taking my plan because I've watched it enough times. But before, I would like just do all the process. You look at the news, you look at OTCmarkets.com, you look at Twitter, whatever Tim Sykes or whoever is talking on their chat room. Like, the more information you can get is the more learning that you then will use later on. Like, right now, I do not look at whatever Tim Sykes is saying. I don't look at the chat room is saying. No, I will like right now I'm doing the stocks to trade with breakouts and breakdowns. Like I am the one alerting it. So it's like I'm pretty much like on the other end now, instead of just looking at who is trading it. Now I'm the one trading it. So it's like wherever you are in your journey, it's like what if you're in the beginning of your journey, then the more information you can get and the more that you can learn and the more like you can see how other people are trading and what other people are talking about it, I think that's very important.
Congratulations, by the way, on the breakdowns and breakouts chat.
Yeah, that was so
Oh, I
exciting.
love
I
it.
saw that. I'm like, wow, you go, girl.
No, it was actually like very fun. Like I was super nervous, but it worked out very well, and I love that group of people because it's not like that much. It's very, it's more of like a smaller group. It's more detailed. You kind of know where everybody like is in their journey, and it's more about getting to know them and stuff. So I love it.
That's great. Can I
That's
ask a
awesome.
question? Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm taking over. So, I use Stocks to Trade. I love the platform. My question is, I don't know if you use it when you do your scans, or if you do use it, what criteria do you use? Like, for example, in terms of volume, all that kind of stuff. What criteria do you use, so you can give us some tips so we can do that when we're doing our scans in the morning or at whatever time they make?
So let's say if I'm looking for panic dip buy, I want it to be up more than 50% on the daily. So it's like I want it to be up 3 days in a row, more than 50%, and at least 10 million volume. And if I'm looking for a breakout, at least 10 million volume, and I want it to be a former runner. I think that's very important for me. If it's a first green day, same criteria, but I kind of want to trade the ones that I've already traded before because I am more comfortable with them. But if it's like, let's say it's like the first run and I haven't even like seen the ticker before, I forget the one that was running today, but it was like DGLS or something like that, like GDLS, but it was a first green day with a lot of volume, but then it failed after. Then it like failed into power hour. So I want to make sure that I am trading the ones that I've already traded before that are former runners. And if not, then I will wait for them to get extended enough and then see if it panics well. But I think the chart is very important, but I think 10 million volume news is not really that important to me if I know my risk and if I know what chart pattern it is on, then I think I would pick it. Like maybe use less size, but I would still use it. And then for first trade day, same thing as panic dip buys, just as extended as it can be, and ideally on a former runner.
Got it. So I guess it's easier when you already play that ticker, where you kind of know it, like its personality, I guess, or you know what it's gonna do if it goes down, if it goes up. But is that how it works? I guess if you've seen it so many times that you know how it behaves.
Like how it behaves. So it's like DPLS. Let me check, because I traded this one. This was actually in February. Yeah, this was in February. So I traded that one from like 0.1 to 0.2 was actually my first 100% gain. And I know how it is when it breaks out, and I know the potential that it can have. And to this day, I'm still trading it. And I guess I would say that I'm a bit more comfortable because I already have like realized gains on it. I've already traded it and I know the potential it can have. And it's not like a foreign, like if it is my first, like if it's a first green day out of nowhere with volume and a lot of news, it's like a foreign world. But if it's something that you have known before, it's like a world that you have been in, like that is planet Earth. Like this makes sense to me. I know the edges, I know the countries, I know all of it. But if not, it's just gonna be like a foreign world, maybe like Mars. Like I don't know it, but I've heard of it, but I don't know how it's gonna react.
Right. That makes sense. Thank you.
Mariana.
Yeah.
Do you know how much you have to invest in a stock? Like how much to put in there?
So for me, like I just really tried to use the less that I could in the beginning. I took $1,000 trades, and that was like it. Like, I would not size up because I was just getting to know these strategies that I was using. So it's like it would be 1,000 and I would want to make $100 on it or risk $20. Like, it is just very simple, but sticking to risk is very important because sometimes when you're wrong, you don't want to be wrong. But I just want to make sure that I want to cut right where my risk is at, because it could get bigger and you can potentially lose a lot more because you don't know really how much it'll go down or not. But if, let's say, if you make, like, I say this a lot actually, and I think that it's one of the things that I've learned the most from like consistent trading is 1,000 trades times $100 is your first 100K. And the first 100K is very difficult to make because it is the first 100K that you're actually like learning. Like, you're just getting yourself accustomed to what you're doing. So it's like, that is a very big deal, your first 100,000, but it doesn't have to be with big gains. It can just be small, added, consistent ones that make up for that. And that can already give you the knowledge, like the knowledge that you will be gaining. Making 1,000 trades is a lot of knowledge. So then you start getting used to it, you start getting to know what you're doing, and that's when you size up. But I had a very set amount, and I would not go higher than that, and I would not go lower than that. I just wanted to get to know all of the strategies.
Okay. Yeah.
Can you talk about that a little bit more, Mari, about how do you calculate your risk management? You mentioned you would take $1,000 trades, you would be looking for $100 in profit.
Yep.
Is that right? And then you would risk 20. Like, how did you come up with the $20 in risk? Is that like a formula?
No, but it just like makes sense to me. Like, I want to lose less than what I make. So it's like my goal today is to make $100. If I don't make $100, I lose 20. So it's not a big deal. It's not gonna break my account. It's not gonna do anything to me, but it already taught me about that loser. And I don't want that loser to be as big as my gains, because I wanted to consistently grow, and to exponentially grow, your losers have to be smaller. So it's like, I just want it to be a consistent amount. And in like looking at the chart, I would pick some sort of support, some channel, and I would say this is where I'm going to size in. So I am going to size in with $1,000, risking $20. So it depends on how many shares you want to buy, but you know that you're risking the $20 based off of the channel or the support or just the slippage that you take on a panic buy.
So is it fair to say that everybody should take the risk depending on what size they have? Like, because everybody have different accounts, right? Like, I have a small account, I have like $1,500. So it's not really like there's a rule written on stone. You have to do $1,000 and risk 20 to make 100. Like, it depends on how comfortable you are, and just sticking to it. It's what's important, right? If you see that's gonna hit your risk, just get out. Don't wait until, because I've made that mistake and I've lost that way. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll come back, and you're hoping and holding and hoping, like they say, right? So I guess it depends on everybody's tolerance, right? For the pain.
It's like, it just really depends on like everything, how much you have in your accounts, what you're willing to risk,
right?
What you will be doing with that money, because I know some people may use it like for their houses, their expenses, how you did on the day. Like, sometimes I will risk less whenever I'm like doing bad on the day and I'm red on the day and I'm like, oh, I can't take another loss. I'm not going to risk as much. I'm not going to just sit there and like wait until my risk is broken. If I would just get out right away, then I'm just going to take that like break even risk. It really just depends on how you're feeling, how comfortable you are, and getting to know yourself. And I think that's like the most important thing. Like, don't base it off of like what this person is doing. Don't base it off of what this person is doing. Like, take months to yourself, like to get to know yourself. What am I comfortable with? What am I good at? What do I need to learn from myself based off of what I've learned from everybody else? Like, you take all of this information, but you make it into your own. It's like, I may be good at panic dip buys, but I'm not good at breakouts. So it's like you may be good at breakouts and not good at panic dip buys. So you don't know like for certain. In the beginning, you just have to try it out, and the less you lose, the better.
Right. Great. Great.
Now, how are you handling your
think I finished all my-
psychology with listed stocks? You've been trading a lot of AMC. Are you still trading AMC?
Yeah, I love AMC. I actually traded today. Well, AMC, I don't know. It's like sometimes you just have those tickers that just stick to your heart, kind of. It's like my TSNP, my OZSC, my ENZC, my AMC. It's like those are the ones that kind of like hit you more because I don't know, for some reason you just feel like you get yourself in the groove of it. Like you know how it trades, and it has, for me, it hasn't been like all of the tickers that I've traded this year have all like I've traded them like more than 50 times, but there are always ones that you just I don't know, you kind of like feel better about trading them, and that has been like for me AMC kind of has traded a lot like an OTC because it just has very good volume and very good liquidity, and it just follows the framework very well. Like you don't need to guess because you already know if it's showing strength, if it is holding the breakout, if it is it has a lot of volume, a lot of eyes on it, like odds are it's going to do what you want, and you can just have a good set risk because for AMC you don't really need to like risk a lot to make a lot, because for me as a dip buyer it's really been good on dips because every single dip gets bought up like 50 to $1 a share like right away. Like it is very good for me just to stay consistent. Maybe not like on the days that really worked well were the first red days and the first red day and the panic dip buy, which I tweeted about it, and that those are the home run trades. Let's say those are the trades that you take one time on that ticker and that's about it. Like you don't expect for it to follow that same exact like framework that same way, but the other days I just watch it for consistency. Like where can I get in and like where can I get out, but just make quick signals. Like I just want to stay consistent. I'm not looking for the big trades because I already traded it like that. Like I'm not going into the day thinking, okay, I'm gonna make that amount as I did like the day before. No, like now it's like new, fresh. I want to just keep watching it because this ticker makes sense to me and I want to stay consistent throughout the month. So it's like 500, 1,000, 2,000, whatever it is that you're making, $50, $20, like it keeps you consistent throughout the month if you kind of have that one ticker that really just follows your framework and your strategies.
Yeah, ever since
So I have
sorry.
like trading that one.
Yeah, ever since you mentioned to me about getting the panics at the bottom and then if it bounces, it messes with the risk to reward, so you won't touch it. Ever since then, I haven't traded a ton, but it's definitely helped. How long do you say it takes you to learn a stock's personality?
I would say that I have been trading AMC for a few months now. Like TSNP I traded also for a few months. I'm really gonna say just to like get comfortable with it and know how it moves, like maybe a month. I don't know. Like I don't really have like a certain amount, but I remember like the first time that AMC and GME ran, I was like very foreign to it. I'm like, I don't really know what to do with this. I'm kind of scared. So GME had that big panic, which was gorgeous, and I totally missed it because I was like scared. I'm like, I don't even trade listeds. So that was my first time, and I saw it for maybe like two weeks straight, and I kept looking at them, but I still wasn't like really actively trading them. And now when AMC ran, I started trading it since it was at $19. So it was maybe like 4 days after that it was at like 72. So I don't know, it just like depends because you watched it a few months back, but now it's back and like you already know it. So maybe it takes just like a few months for your brain kind of to like process that whole new listed world, and then it just like makes sense when you see it again. And when I saw it again, it just made a lot of sense. I started trading at 19, then bought the breakout. Like, I think I explained this in my June recap, where it was like at 19, then at the breakout, then I sold around the 60s, then I reshorted, panic dip buyed, and then I just kept panic dip buying just the rest of the days because it just has very good volume, and those are the ones that I want to be the most focused on, is the ones with the most volume, because they just follow very nicely, and there's like literally a bunch of eyes on it, so
That makes
and
sense.
very good risk as well.
I see Karen's here.
Mari,
She
I
can
have
take over the questions.
I do have a question. Hey, on the panic dip buys on AMC, the ones you're just taking for singles, do you find that the turn is as easy to find as it is on the OTCs?
I definitely do think that they are easy, but in a NASDAQ, like in an OTC, when you find the bottom and you got to fill right away, or else you're not taking that trade. So it's a lot more like you need like precision. You need more precision for OTC panic dip buying. For NASDAQ, you can like ballpark. It's like 20 cent literally every 2 seconds. So it's not even like 2 seconds, like a split second, and it's already up or down 20 cents. So you don't need to be like the exact bottom as you do with an OTC, because it literally bounces and you can't get a fill. With a NASDAQ, you can fill right away at whatever price. So I am okay with kind of taking like a 30 cent, 20 cent kind of like entry. So I can tell the turn on a NASDAQ, but maybe I feel like 30 or 40 cents higher, but I just know that that's my risk. But for an OTC, I need to get the bottom, or else it's going to be very difficult to fill afterwards. And I just know that I'll be chasing the top of the green candle. So it's just not worth it. There's just a lot more precision and a lot, like, you need to be very right on an OTC. Instead of a NASDAQ, you don't have to be, because the liquidity is just so easy for you to fill that if you're 20 cents higher, you know that you will get it, and you can get out right away also.
What time frames do you normally trade on, Mari? Do you for the OTCs and for the NASDAQs?
Like time frame, I'm always
1 minute,
trading
5 minutes.
I'm always trading the 1 day, 1 minute, and whenever I run my watch list, I have 4 different time frames. It is the max time frame, the 6 month, the daily one, and the 5 day, 5 minute, and the 1 day, 1 minute. So I have a whole screen that shows me the 4 different time frames. And just because since I'm doing the watch list, I want to get the big picture of all of the tickers that I'm watching, and then on the next day I've already seen all of the time frames, so I already know the big picture. So now it's just time to make my plan based off of the intraday action.
So you said 6 months, the daily, the 5 day, 5 minute, the 1 day, 1 minute.
Yeah.
And what was the other one?
The max, like the all time, like max.
Like on stocks to trade, I think is the 20-year.
Oh, okay. So the overall, the big picture.
Like all of it. Just like all of it, daily, 5 day, 5 minute, and 1 day, 1 minute. Just to get the big picture of the tickers that you're watching for the next day, because you want to know like if the daily candle is like just a big stuffed candle or not. Like, you want to know what you're dealing with. And then the intraday, you can get very caught up in the intraday action because you're just watching the 1 day, 1 minute. So it's like your brain kind of just focuses on how it looks on the day, but what if it's extended 5 days in a row and it still looks good for a breakout, but you don't really want to buy it? So you want to make sure the night before or the day before you are prepared, knowing how it looks on all time frames and knowing what you can do and what you can't and what you can do. You want to get the whole thing.
So on
Where
those,
do you
oh,
typically
sorry.
make your decision though to put the trade in? Are you looking at the 1 minute and that's where you figure out where you want to get in?
Yeah, no, definitely. Like after I have my plan, and I have my watch list and I have my plans and everything. I'm just watching the 1 day 1 minute at 9:30. I'm not watching any time frames other than 1 day 1 minute, and then I make my decisions off of just that one chart.
And do you put in a stop loss or do you just prepare another trade to exit out?
Yeah, I always like whenever I'm in a stock, and you know how you can have like your level 2 just like prepared with whatever limit price. So I just prepare it, even if I'm not gonna like exit out. I need to be very quick, and in order to be very quick, you need to be prepared, because that's the only way to be quick, is to already have it and you're like, I don't like this, exit before anybody else, because everybody else is typing their order, typing in their shares, typing in everything, but instead you are ready to exit. So you will get first dibs on the trade. So I always have just like my E-Trade level 2 just prepared with either going long if I want to go long and it's a tight channel and I want to just long right at the breakout of the channel, then I want to be prepared and be able to fill, same as on getting out. I will always have it ready. Like I will always have that level 2 just prepared with whatever happens.
So on E-Trade, do you have the confirmation window popped up at all, or do you just go straight to buying?
So I had the confirmation window for a year. I took it off in December of 2020. So that was after I got very comfortable with all of my charts and my patterns and my strategies. Before that, I never did. And I was advised to take it, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna, because I just want to be very sure about what I'm doing. And I don't want to be overfilling too much size in the beginning, because that is just scary. You want to take the shares, and if you fill, you fill. If you don't, you don't. But you get one chance. And instead now, without the trade confirmation, I really don't know like if I'm gonna oversize, if I'm gonna fill too much. So it's like a different kind of like stage. And I had it since September 2019 all the way through December 2020. I still had my confirmations, and I think that was a great decision.
Okay, and also, I've been having so much trouble with E-Trade. I swear when I go to click buy that it's changing the price on me. I mean, I called them, they swear they're not, but I'm pretty convinced. Maybe it's a conspiracy. Has that ever happened to you?
I think your E-Trade is just haunted.
I think so. I'm going crazy. And they swear, because it was on the confirmation window, and I click OK, not paying attention to it, because I swear I know what I typed in, and then it changes, and I get rejected.
You know what that could be? Maybe if like, okay, how to explain this? So let's say a stock is trading at $15. And you click it, but you didn't, like, you see the price that just naturally pops up on E-Trade, and you see like 15 just pop up. Like, let's say you type in XYZ, and then already you have that like 15, because it's trading at 15. But if you want to place a limit order and you want to have like your confirmation popped up into that limit order, like writing it down, you want to be able to write 15.03, not have E-Trade write it down for you. You type it in yourself, and I think that's your problem. Like, you need to write in your limit order. Like, let's say if you want to fill 0.125, and E-Trade is giving you 0.122. So it's like it's just automatically giving you the price that it's trading at. But no, you want to fill a little bit above. So you put 0.125, and if you type it down, they can't change it. But if E-Trade automatically gives you that, then it will change based on what it's trading at.
Okay, that makes sense, because a lot of the time, like, I'm looking for, let's say, today, LKNCY, it had that morning panic, and I originally thought it was going to morning spike, so I put a buy-in at 15.62, I think it was, but it was past that. I didn't get filled. I canceled it. So then it panicked, so I was happy I didn't get filled, and then it was like at 14.88, and I was trying to get 14.95, and it put in 19.95. Now, I swear I didn't put 19.95. It never hit 19, and why would I go up when it's going down? So I was just getting really frustrated, which then I started frustrating trading on listed stocks, and then when my loss doubled, I kind of quit today. But I'm thinking of going to Schwab, trying that out, because I've been hearing the girls and everyone give good reviews, and I'm frustrated with, I swear, maybe E-Trade is haunted.
Maybe. But yeah, like if you type it down, I guess that gives you like a little bit more of like you're sure that that's like, if you type it down 0.125, it will fill you with that. And that's like what I do.
That's awesome. And also, when you were talking about how when a stock is about to break out and it's up like 5 green days in a row and you're not sure if you want to buy the breakout, what do you usually do? I have it on my watch list for potential breakouts, but because it has so many days green in a row and it's coming up to that resistance, I also have it on my panic watch list. So I have it for panics and breakouts. What do you do in those scenarios?
If it's up 5 days in a row, I will not have it on my breakouts watch. Okay. Like I would just ignore completely. If it's up more than 3 green days, I'm just not tempted. I'm just like not even like having it on watch at all. Like I don't even have it on my screen because I don't care, unless it starts to panic. That's when I do care, if it's like a volume, liquidity, up 5 green days in a row, and then it's down maybe more than 10, 20, 30, 40, that's when I will watch it. But let's say, can't see why, let's say yesterday it broke out, today, if it continued today, if it was still up, and I took my gains. So I took it overnight yesterday, and I was thinking of selling today into morning strength. So I would have sold it. After I sell it in the morning, I am not looking for any more trade at all. I got the first day of the breakout. I got the predictable part of the move. After that, it is just not up to me to keep longing it, because my pattern is breakout. Like the only day it broke out is on first day of breakout. After that, it's just a second green day, third green day. There's no pattern behind it other than just continuation. So I want to trade the predictable part, and that will be the first year breakout. After that, I just ignore it and I move on and I trade other tickers until the next part of the chart comes in, which is the panic dip buy. That's the next part of the framework, and I am interested in that one.
Okay, so even if you didn't hold the breakout overnight, but it's the second green day pattern, what if it gapped up, dipped to the previous close, and then spiked? Would you buy it for that dip buy, or would you buy it for the morning strength for a second green day?
If I was long overnight,
if you weren't long overnight.
If I wasn't long overnight, I would be interested in buying, but I would be taking a single on it, and I wouldn't be looking for like the second green day move, which would be afternoon and power hour. I'd just be looking for the first day of breakout continuation into the morning, but I'm not looking for that second green day confirmation into the next day.
Okay, that's what I figured.
Well, Mariana, can I ask you a question? You guys can hear me, right? Yes? Okay. So my question is, when you or any trader that has experience wants to, I think it's called swing trade, when you hold it overnight, correct?
Yeah.
How do you know, what's your indicators that tells you, okay, I'm going to buy it and I'm going to hold it? I think I've heard, because I'm part of a challenge, and I think Tim always says, when you see a stock that's closing near its highs, that's one of the good indicator that it might gap up the next morning. Is that like a one solid indicator? Or is there anything else that you take into consideration to hold it overnight?
I like it. I'm gonna use. I'm not sure if you're like if you traded LKNCY, but I will keep talking about this one because I've been trading it for like a few days. But LKNCY, yesterday, so that had a very tight channel, but I think for me, what's most important to hold overnight is what time does it break that channel. So, for example, this one broke at maybe like 340 or 345, something like that, and I took it long. So I was risking 15 cents on that long, but odds are if it's into power hour, if it's into the close, it shouldn't by any means touch my risk, even like touch it, because that means it's just going to close weak. So I will take it over that channel, and the closest to 4 as it gets, that is when I'm mostly interested to swing trade it. Like if it would have broken the channel at 2 p.m., I most likely would have taken profits into like 3. But into like 3:30, 3:40, probably wouldn't have swung. But if it's so close to the close, like if it's at 3:30, 3:40, 3:50, odds are I'm going to take it overnight because the move hasn't happened yet. The move that I'm looking for still hasn't happened. Good. Did that answer your question?
Yes, that was great. Thank you so much, Mariana.
Yeah, like based just on like the time that I'm taking the trade and what I'm looking for also. Like I was looking for the next day.
Copy. And that was LKNCY, correct?
Yes, LKNCY, NLST and DPLS from Friday are also a great example. Breakout swings that I took overnight, and you can see same pattern as LKNCY, very close to 4 p.m. breakouts first day, and those are great examples because they actually did work the next day. NLST went to 692 and DPLS went to 0.202. So those are great examples of ones that actually continued and followed the plan into the next day with the gap of morning spikes.
Perfect.
Or swing trades.
Mariana, I have a question. On the breakouts, you take it in the afternoons, right? I know that you like to trade in the morning, but for these kind of breakouts.
Like for breakouts that I want to take overnight, I want them to be confirmed. So that is the only way that I would take a trade. If I take a trade in the afternoon, it will most likely be for a swing trade into the morning. So I'm not going to take it kind of like at 2 or at 1, but at 3:30, I am definitely watching for ones that I want to long overnight or over the weekend. Other than that, it's like I'm just not watching that much. But I think breakouts into that time, they've held all day. They've confirmed levels. They've created channels. They've given you good risk. They have showed to you long enough that they are holding the levels that they should hold. So that's why I like just waiting as much as I can to get long, because most likely odds are that people look at the charts over the weekend or overnight, and then the next day they want in. So the gap up is created from all of the people that also want to trade them, and from the good chart that is provided. Maybe it has news and all sorts of that, but that's why I like them so much, because the next day you have a very even risk. It's either gapping down and you get it right away, or you risk red, but your risk is pretty much very meaningless unless like you have an unfortunate situation that just like gaps down.
And with the listed stocks is the same?
Listed stocks, I am not comfortable swinging overnight just because They trade until 8, and they also trade since 4 a.m. So I am not up at that time. I don't know. I'm just like not comfortable with like seeing like, and also E-Trade doesn't allow you to sell before 7 a.m. Sometimes they have offerings at like 6 a.m. and you can't even sell. So that's like not a situation that I want to be in. I'm just more comfortable with OTCs that I can for sure trade after 9:30 and not maybe like be stuck or have to get up earlier. So I don't really like typically swing trade.
And another question, sorry. So in listed stocks, I see that a lot of traders just like trade after the consolidation when like the stock break the consolidation, like let's say for 1 hour, half an hour, 2 hours, and they just cannot be the height of the day or the high of the 52 weeks, but they just trade that consolidation. You do the same thing, or is just I just see more and more people doing that lately.
No, like
with the listed stocks.
I think consolidation can be like for a conservative trader, that is something very good. If you would like to be conservative and you want to know the levels exactly, I think that is a great way to be able to trade. But for listeds, I just don't have enough stats to tell me that this certain like time is the one that I want to see. But I don't really trade listeds that much, but I will say like LKNCY again yesterday, you can see the consolidation it created into Power Hour. You saw it. So
yes,
that's the consolidation that I want to see in an OTC. I can't give you an example of a listed just because I haven't traded any of them in maybe like a week. Only AMC today, but other than that is like dip buying or just shorting overextended ones. But that's pretty much just like I keep it very like I'm away from listeds, but I will be there for A+ opportunities. Other than that, it's like I am mostly based just on my OTCs.
Guys, Mariana, it was a pleasure. I have to go because I have to leave guys running around and they're making a mess in the house. But it was a pleasure to be here. I'm gonna go, but I hope you guys end up the meeting well. Thank you so much for all the wonderful questions and for answering everything.
Good questions.
Good seeing you.
Great. Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Hopefully
Mariana.
see you soon, okay, guys?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, guys. This was great. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't have too many questions because I've been asking Mariana in chat, and I'm just trying to focus on those.
Same here. I have a question on about AMC. I know that today that panic, right? Like it's
into
super down.
Close. Yeah.
Yes. So it's like 38 something.
Mm-hmm.
And I know everyone tried to push it to the 40. So what you will do with that? You will short it, you will long it, or you will wait until like consolidate a little bit and then just decide what you want to do?
For I like to see consolidation into breakouts, but I'm not looking for AMC as a breakout anymore because it is too weak to make new highs. Like, I mean, it could have crazy news tomorrow, but odds are that it will stay weak because it broke support into after hours. That $40 support, that's pretty meaningful, very important. So odds are we could get a panic, and also it is pretty extended to the downside. I think today was the third red day that it's had. Yes. So I will most likely maybe not be looking to short because I feel like today was the day to short it into the after hours. I think it was great expecting that support crack, but now I will be more inclined to dip buy it because I will be looking for that first green day reversal, and if not, just to take some trades going long on the dip buy and just get ready for the big first green day. Okay. But the dip buys are great on it.
How's shorting been? That's right. You got Cobra now, right? How's that been?
It's literally like the most even, like, break even thing ever. Like, I've taken 4 trades short, and it's been like make that much, lose that exact much, like, it's just so break even. But
well, you're learning now, right?
it's fine. It's been on NLST and LWLG, so it's like it hasn't really been like that perfect CYGY a 10 kind of trade, but I definitely do feel very comfortable having it, because I know, like, if I wake up tomorrow and there's a perfect trade, I can trade it, and I won't feel FOMO that everybody's trading it, because, like, I literally felt that for a whole year. Like, that was enough. But now it just, like, gives me that comfortable zone that just kind of, like, tells me, okay, yeah, you can take it if you want to. I'm in no rush.
That's awesome. And you're still in the learning stages, so are you are you doing that $20 risk now that you're shorting, or with your experience are you going more?
No, like, I am not using $20. I wish I was using $20 risk. It would make my life a lot less stressful, but I'm just using same risk as I would on a long. Maybe a little bit less, but since it's just been like just 4 trades, I've just been risking just literally the exact same. Because I'm not like that comfortable with it, but I know that I can risk the amount, and I know that based on my chart analysis that I am more often than not right with my risk.
That's awesome. Yeah, don't get caught in a short squeeze, please. Don't let it go to 100.
Like, it's definitely very easy on OTCs, like LWLG. Those are just, they're very hard to fill, especially if there's no volume. Like, there was no liquidity on LWLG. But literally in anything, like breakouts, panic dip buys, first red days, whatever it is, you need to account for slippage every single time, because you really don't know where you're going to fill. Like, you could be waiting like minutes before you fill, so always account for that, and maybe use less than what you think, because sometimes, like I said, like, it just won't be as quick, because OTCs are just a lot more difficult to trade based like in execution wise. So, like, you gotta be okay with taking that risk if you know that you're trading these.
Are you mostly shorting first red, or ideally are you mostly shorting first red days? Are you practicing with overextended gap downs? What's your favorite for shorting so far, or at least ideally?
It's definitely like either first red days or just like a fourth extended day, like when it's extended and then it has that big spike in the morning and then it starts to kind of like tank a little but not go red fully. I think those are my favorite, like the top of the stock. I think those are my favorite on lower highs. Overextended gap downs are very difficult because they gap down a lot, and more often than not they do spike. So it's like they spike more than like what you expect. So those aren't really my favorite. And first red days are also very good because you have good risk. Like, you have red as risk. So those are like, I think based off of like conservative kind of like risk management, first red days would be my favorite.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Lori, I have a question. Yeah. Sometimes like in a panic I feel like I have a bottom and then I don't, and it freaks me out. I'm trying to learn how to read level 2, but it's still kind of hard for me to do. How do you know that you're getting a bottom?
So there comes to a point, like, which one can you watch? DPLS from yesterday, if you can watch it on demand on Thinkorswim, I think that's great because there was that split moment, like, you know that it's down 5 red candles in a row. 40% odds are bounce is coming and you're not in, so you're looking to get in. You have your limit order ready with the shares you want to buy, and you don't want to like be there, stuttering, because that is a very quick kind of movement. You can't lose 1 second of it. But to get the bottom, like, Point 12, you can see, like, if you can look back on Thinkorswim on Demand, you can see point 12 was very supportive with a lot of bids. And not only that, it never got to point 12. Like, you think of a level that could be meaningful. Like, round numbers are important. Point 12 was important. If it was under point 12, maybe next balance point would have been 11. So in this case, point 12 was supported, and then 05 was the one that had bids. And then suddenly it just kind of like started stuttering a little bit. So the bids start to grow, and then the ask just starts to get thin, and suddenly you see like it skip, and you see it go to 12.25, and then a bunch of buying starts to go through. And now you have your good set risk at point 12. You fill at 12.25, you have your risk at 12, and then it's down 40%. So maybe you want to take your 10 to 15%, and then you're maybe out of the stock. But just looking at all of the bids start to stack up, and the round number not getting taken out. Like point 12 was there. Then there was some bids at 12.03, 12.04, 12.05. And then the ask starts to get thin, and then it starts getting hits like over that price. Like suddenly you will start to see prints going off at like 12.15. So it's like that moment of hesitation between it's not going down further, it's not breaking that level that it should, it's gonna bounce, I gotta get in. Risk 12.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you for explaining that. I might ask you more questions in the chat thing, but that's good.
Definitely. No, like you definitely should. DPLS, great example yesterday. I think that is a must watch.
I didn't know, I have Thinkorswim, I use TD Ameritrade, but I didn't know what the on-demand thing was, so that was nice that you mentioned that. So you can just rewatch like time frames and stocks.
Yeah, like if you just search on YouTube, you can say like how to use Thinkorswim on Demand, and it will show you, and you can just click on whatever day you want and then just go back to that same trade, and it will show you all of the bids, all of the asks, the price, and how it reacted through.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
Mariana, I have another question. So for the listed stocks, you're using the reversal first green day too, right?
Yeah. Okay. A great example for you. Like this is like it doesn't get more picture perfect than let me just share with you like the exact day, because I'm not very sure the exact day, but it was literally like it couldn't have been more perfect. It was AMC reversal day on the 8th of this month. You see AMC on the 8th. You see it hold the perfect key level of 40, and then it gets bought up. Like you just need to see where is a good level of interest and see how it reacts. If it stayed heavy under 40, odds are support crack. But that's not what it did. It bounced $6 a share right off of its lows. So that is showing more strength. And then what does it do after that? Well, it consolidated right under red to green. So if it consolidates like right under red to green, it's like literally perfect, because odds are it's gonna have a first green day. That's exactly what it did. Like you want to see what it does after it holds the support, how it reacts. If it stays heavy, then odds are it doesn't look that good. But if it bounces right away, consolidates right under red to green, and it's down 3 days in a row, you want to see it have that reversal first green day pattern. And I will be watching this one also. Like I will be watching level 35, level 30 for reversal coming up like tomorrow, the day after, because it is down 3 red days in a row. So it's already shown in the past that it's had good first green days. Odds are next first green day is going to be great also. So I will be watching that one. Like that's going to be one of my main watches for reversal. Just watch how it reacts before it goes green. If it consolidates under green, if it's gapping up, how are the dips holding up? Like if you know, it has like a few red candles right at 9:30, but then it gets bought up right over high day. How does it consolidate? How does it hold after that critical level? I'll be watching that one. Also, I'll be watching DPLS for first green day reversal. I'm thinking maybe sub 1 and then reverse. That would be great on a third green day. On a third red day, sub 10 cents. Those would be the two reversal days.
Can you repeat that one, Mariana?
DPLS, I'll be watching sub 10 cents for a possible reversal on a first green day. Sub 10, maybe 0.08. There's some support on both of those, so I'll be watching those two levels for either a panic dip buy or a reversal for a first green day in the coming days.
In DPLS, what was the support level, like 0.10?
Yeah, 10 is a very psychological level. Also, it was the high of 616, so resistance becomes support. So 0.1 was the resistance from 616. It broke that. Now that becomes support. Now I'm watching that one to bounce off that level, and it's 10 cents. So that is a pretty psychological level. And if it just goes crazy perfect, 0.010, 0.0, 0.08, 0.08.
Okay, like 2 cents to 2 cents less, basically.
There's some resistance support there too.
Are you using the stocks? Are you using the stocks to trade mobile app?
No, I can't get in yet. Like, I don't know. It sometimes it lets me in, and sometimes it doesn't. But I'm always using my Thinkorswim, literally always. I love Thinkorswim.
I'm still getting
I like stocks to trade for the chat rooms. I like stocks to trade to find out the statistics on the tickers. I really love to see the float, the market cap, the volume, previous close. Like, it has literally every single indicator that you want. I like that. And the chat rooms are always great. But for charting, I use Thinkorswim. For level 2, I use E-Trade.
Okay, I do have a question about that, because if I'm going to be trying to use Schwab, do you have to open up E-Trade and then pop out the level 2 to get it set up without using the E-Trade Pro platform? I've never set it up without it just being within the platform before. But if you use does that make sense?
I mean, I have the level 2s like all stacked up next to each other. Like, I have 4 level 2s. E-Trade here, E-Trade here, E-Trade here, E-Trade here. And they all pop out. Like, I don't need to have them like on the E-Trade screen or anything. Like, they can just pop out if you place them together.
Okay, I'm gonna have to YouTube that, because to me it's hard for me to understand. Like, if you open up the platform, can you exit out of the platform and just keep the level 2s out? Or do you have to be logged into it?
I think in the right side, in the corner, is something that you can just like create with that screen, like a separate screen, like whatever you say. Just minimize the full platform, and you will still have whatever you have.
Okay, so
it's
you
like
do
in
have
the right
to probably
corner.
minimize it.
Even with the same thing that you do with the graphics, with the chart.
Yeah,
It's like
I
in the
haven't
right
done that
corner.
because I just trade on my one laptop. So I have one laptop with just E-Trade Pro, and my other laptop has stocks to trade on it, or Thinkorswim. And so I'm gonna have to YouTube it and
Yeah, no,
figure out how
yeah,
to set
it's in
that up.
the right corner. It's something, and then you just click it and just like separate it for a different screen, so you can just like minimize whatever you want to minimize and just use that
Okay,
separately.
and those are still open and running. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Makes sense. I love YouTube.
Everyone does, I think so.
Definitely. It shows you everything.
It does.
Yes.
It's better than school. I don't
Can I
have
ask
any...
a question about how you start your day? Because I typically start with Tim Bowen's thing in the morning, and then I watch as much as I can the pre-market stuff. Is there any other thing that anyone's doing that gets them ready for the morning, or any kind of video, or you watch? You're definitely like looking at someone's picks or anything like that. I mean, you're doing all your own work, or you're compiling it from a lot of other people. Like, are you getting since Mariana, since you're kind of in with the group, like, are you getting you're getting information from Tim Sykes and then Tim Bowen and the guys from small like Cap Rockets or that kind of thing? Are you getting more info than we're getting, or?
No. I don't get like more info. I honestly like talk to Tim like very often, like maybe like once like every 2 months. Like he just says, "Hi, how you doing?" But small cap rockets is there's small cap rockets and breakouts and breakdowns, but all of the information that you guys are getting is pretty much the one that I'm getting, like other than just maybe private messaging somebody for like a question or something. But other than that, it's not like I'm getting like lessons or anything from like anybody. It's just me. I'm the one putting out the watch list in the morning, then it's Jack putting the weekly watch list, and then it's Kyle putting the overnight watch list. That all gets sent out to you guys. And then it's like the webinars, and then just whatever we trade, we're always alerting it in the chat room. But we don't really like, it's not like everybody is like all connected or anything, because small cap rockets does their own thing, breakouts and breakdowns does their own thing, and Profitly and Tim do their own thing. But we don't really like talk like before market open or anything. It's just pretty much what we send out. Okay. And then the conversations that we have in the chat room with you guys, like it's just pretty much sharing our plans and stuff. And then like Kyle will say, "Oh yeah, I agree with this," or "What are you watching here?" or which one's your favorite? But it's pretty much just to everyone. And then what I do in the morning is just my own planning and sharing my own planning, but I'm not really getting influenced by anybody else.
Because I'm noticing, like Tim, he can't stand the pumpers and stuff on Twitter. I find them useful as far as like, hey, these people are really talking about something and people are really buying what they're saying. So I find them to be a useful indicator of a stock. Although, and sometimes there's overlap, but you can't trust those people at all, because they'll say, no, it's going to the moon. It's going to go, this is a 10-year hold. No, it's not. But I know not to trust them, but my gosh, they put a lot of work into pumping. So it really is interesting what they have to say. And then I'm in Profitly chat room. They're always trading something that I'm not trading. So I'm finding like there's, I guess I'm not finding the hottest stocks. I guess I'm not finding the right ones for me sometimes, and maybe I'm getting stuck. That's what I was asking, is like, what indicators or what's been most helpful? Like, I know Tim doesn't like all the Bollinger Bands and the Fibonacci things. He doesn't like all that stuff. He just uses volume and a few other, like, just excitement over a stock or a hot indicator or a hot sector. So is there something that, if you were to hone it down, it's like, look, this is the simplified version of this? Because I feel like I'm kind of all over the place with things, but I check with too many people, and then I guess I'm not focused on one stock or two stocks.
It's like not really finding that much not finding like a lot of information about that ticker is very useful because you get biased. Like if you go, whenever I go and read something about AMC, DPLS, whatever it is, then I will get biased and I'm like, okay, I'm very short biased right now. I am very long biased. No, I want to go into the day thinking I want to trade what action it is giving me. So like the less that I read, it honestly just like benefits me best. But what I do keep track on a lot is patterns, is like in the beginning, the patterns and strategies that I wanted to learn. That's what I would put most of my effort in. Like, what is a first red day? What is a first green day? What is a breakout? I don't care what Twitter is saying. I don't care what Tim is saying. Like, I want to learn the pattern. Like, I want to be able to read a chart and not have to see what anybody else has to say about it because it is my own. So it's like, I want to read the charts, and the less that you read about what other people are saying, the more like independent that you get the next time that you're like, oh yeah, this is a first green day because I remember I took a picture of this, I watched a Think or Swim on Demand, I had a video, I traded it, I have it on my binders, like, because it is engraved in your brain and it's not like it's just overwhelming, just information. Because if you want to find information, like, you will. Like, I promise you, like, if you're suddenly just long biased AMC to 100, like, you will want to buy it because of the amount of people that are just crazy insane about buying stuff. Or if
I'm glad you said that, yeah. Because
DPLS to like -0, it's like, that's, you will literally find a tweet about it.
Yeah, the extremes.
No, I think that's helpful because I think I search too much. I just, you type a ticker in and wow, you get a lot of info, and it's not really that, yeah, it's not helpful.
You're like, I am so right, but why am I down 20%? Like, this makes no sense.
Yeah.
But I think the most like important that I did like in the beginning was just to learn the charts without having any other background noise. Like, that is noise that you don't want to hear. You want to hear your own voice, your own noise, and that you can only build with practice. And the practice just comes from the strategies that you're trying. Say you want to focus in on the framework. So there's not really a lot of patterns in the framework. There's 6, maybe, well, there's more, but let's say you want to focus in on like the most volatile ones. There's literally maybe 4. So let's say you trade the first green day, the breakout, the first red day, and the panic dip buy. You have 4 of those. So if you gather as much information on those 4 as you possibly can, your brain will start to mimic what you are learning. So you will start to kind of like read the charts based off of like all the knowledge that you have, instead of kind of reading on what other people are saying. Because they're not trading the framework, they are holding and investing in these stocks. Like, more often than not, these Twitter the pumpers are thinking longer term. We're thinking more like daily. If you're trading the framework that I trade,
right,
it's not really like that long-term hold and hope kind of situation, because like we tend to know what we're doing because we study it. That's why we study it.
Right. No, that's the whole reason why I got into this, is to get in and get out in one day, because I have other investments that are sitting there for 20 years already. Okay, and wow, they're at great, they're growing, but they're growing a little bit. So no, I thought I could learn something. And thank you for being on this call and to help us with all this stuff, because it's not as easy as it sounds, but it's doable, and it's amazing to me how I have to keep training my brain to remember these things. And even though Tim will say, cut losses quickly, I think he had a whole video where he just said that for 4 minutes straight. And why don't I do that? Why don't I not do that? And it's amazing to me how, my first $1,000 of, I'm going to allot this for day trading, it was gone in a day. And I had so much fun, and okay, well, this is supposed to go up. No, so I kind of had to, I had to learn some stuff. It's amazing I couldn't learn from other people's mistakes. I had to learn from my own mistakes. But it's fine-tuning my brain. It's almost like thinking lessons that I have to go through, that I should have learned these a long time ago, and I'm very impulsive with some of these stocks, but I'm learning from listening to you, it's really discipline and learning the rules, and don't go outside the rules.
That's kind of like why I put that idea in like my brain, kind of like saying, make $100, risk 20. It just gave me an idea of what I was looking for like in the day. So like having that like competitive kind of like mindset, it's like, I'm not going to lose more. Like I am literally losing to myself, like I'm not losing to anybody else. Like it's literally like my account. Like I am competitive towards myself. And I'm thinking, I'm not going to lose more. Like, I'm not going to allow myself to lose more. Like, just kind of, like, I had a few, like, sticky notes that maybe would say, like, you can always get in at a better price. Like, if you just sell right now, you will take that loss, but get in at a better price and lock in the singles when you have it, because you don't know if they're going to go up more because you don't really have that much knowledge yet. Like being very humble to the market and acknowledge, like, I don't know that much. I am still in a foreign world, so it's like I'm just gonna literally just take it and like close my eyes and be very happy. And then like you like go from there. Cool. But like there are still obviously those mistakes that you can like only learn on your own. Like everybody says, don't trade while you're moving, don't trade while you're moving. Everybody lost while they're moving. Well, I already had that experience, and then I lost a bunch when I was moving. So it's like there are obviously those mistakes where you just like clearly just like can't avoid, and you have to learn on your own. But being very disciplined does help a lot, especially in like trading. It's it can get very emotional, and emotional based decisions aren't always the most disciplined, but like learning yourself and how you react is very important.
No, that's helpful. I have to hear that, and I have to remember that, and I have to put that on a poster above my computer, to do that every day. But no, I really appreciate that. So do you have any goals, like that you're going to buy your amazing car or a house or something like that? Is that sort of what you're working towards?
I definitely am at that stage where I'm still growing my accounts. I definitely will get to the point where I will invest in myself, because I do want nice things. But right now, it's been 2 years really of full-time day trading for me. Other people 4, 5, 6 years. So it's like I still am not at that stage where I really like, obviously if like I need to spend it, I will, but right now maybe for like luxury or something like that, I'm more of like I want to zone in and keep gaining the more experience. Like this summer maybe I don't have to trade it, but I try the best that I can to watch the markets every single day, whereas Jack, he's like, I'm literally retired, I'm not going to show up like any day at all. So it's like he's at that stage where he can. I still need to go through that suffering stage that he did in 2019.
Okay.
Same as Kyle. Like Kyle already went through that 2019 summer market. And now it's like my turn, which I haven't gotten. So it's like I need to get all of the stages in, and then I will think about, buying my mom an apartment or like whatever it is. Like I'll definitely do it, but it's like not my stage right now.
$30 lipsticks though, come on.
Definitely.
You can spoil yourself a little bit.
No, like here and there, like I will have like I will like obviously buy stuff and everything, like pay dinners and stuff, but like not like anything like big, like a car or a house,
Okay.
Also,
but I do have goals. Like,
what are your goals?
I'm still like kind of young, so it's like I'm still living with my parents. So
Good for you.
yeah, I love it.
That's awesome.
Well, I have a daughter that's 18, and we've been saving up all 18 years for her college fund, and we gave it to her on her 18th birthday. And I really just said to her, like, just learn trading. I don't really feel like you need to go to college, you know. And it's enough where she really could. She's 18. She really could do the challenge, have loads of money to invest with and have fun with, and you know, she's kind of looking at it right now, but I think at her mind, it's like, no, I want to go to college and have fun. And
show her Mariana and show that she could be a millionaire and then have fun. It only takes a few years. Well,
honestly, my dad, he didn't go to college, so that's the exact same path. Because I wanted to go to college. I'm like, I want to be a doctor. Wow. I love studying. I literally just loved dermatology. That's my biggest dream. And my dad was like, I'm just not going to pay for your college. Like, you figure out what you do, but you're not going to college. So he just gave me like a bunch of newsletters and stuff, and that's how I found Tim Sykes. I was like, okay, I'll do this. So I got the challenge and then the accounts, but it really doesn't like take that much. Like, doesn't take that much capital to really start a trading account. Like, it's like just like the dedication that you want to put in. But I absolutely love it. I'm also like, I don't really like to like party that much. I didn't really like to talk a lot like in school, so it's not like I wanted that college experience anyways.
All my doctors who have children, they told their children not to be doctors. You know, they said go into business or do something other than being a doctor, because they're seeing their, you know, 10 plus years of education now turn into a lot less money, and they have to pay for everything else in their office, and they're like, it cuts into the profits. And so they're running a business, but now it's not as profitable of a business is what they're doing. And then they're locked in, you know, 10-hour days basically. So, but it was funny. I've had about 6 doctors tell me they told their children not to be doctors. So you go into business, they said, you know, do investments, do real estate, but anyway, so.
Like, you really need to love your job.
Yes.
Like, you really need to love being a doctor, because it takes like, it is an insane amount of work.
Like, Mariana,
I agree. Yes.
Mariana, there was a question that was put out there. Somebody's on mute right now. Sorry.
Sorry, I didn't see the chat.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So the question was, how important are fundamentals versus technicals to you with listed stocks?
Listed stocks, I would say that float is important. Other than that, news is important. I do try to look into the news, and I don't really look at fundamentals that much. Like OTC or listed, they're not very important to me. I am like 98% chart-based trader. So if I have my risk and there's an offering, I will be out. If I have risk, then I am all set to go. And that's just how I see it. If I have my risk and the chart is telling me that it wants to do what I want it to do and it looks good, then I will take it. As long as I have a good set risk, I will take the idea. But fundamentals, like, it is something I would like to learn, but right now it's just not something that I really needed to use. I'm mostly an OTC trader anyway, so.
Do you use a lot of level 2 in listed stocks or no?
I do watch it, but I don't think it's that as important as OTCs are. They're very quick. They can give you a headache, but they can help to see the time in sales, see how many prints are going through, see what direction it's picking. I think that you can kind of like get a sense of it, but it's not like the holy grail, I'm going to take this trade because of what I saw on the level 2.
Thank you.
Also, Gina, I think I heard you mention earlier about some indicators that are useful or helpful. So scripts to trade. I wish I kind of knew about them in the early beginnings, but also I'm happy I didn't because I learned even to trade without it. But for like the pattern that I like, where it spikes, consolidates, and then spikes, an abnormal volume indicator on scriptstotrade.com, it pops up when there's abnormal volume, an arrow on the candle. And in the beginning, when I was having troubles like paying attention to everything on the screen, like level 2, volume, price action, just everything, I find that abnormal volume arrow indicator is helpful for that. And also, I really recently like the sentiment indicator, because it gives a good idea of when what trend the stock is in. And it even says in the left corner that it's really bullish or bearish or neutral, and that helps with my patterns as well. And I am an affiliate, so if anyone wants to try it, discount code Tessa 10, it gives you 10% off. I think Mariana might be I think she's an affiliate too. So Mariana, if you want to give your discount code, that can help people out too.
For scripts to trade?
Yeah.
Let me go check, but I'm pretty sure it's Mari 10.
Okay. But yeah, so if people want discount codes, that's there to help you guys. But I really like it. And then they have a gap stats indicator that I use, and for the people who like really want to get into statistics, like the past history of what did, say, AMC, what's its gap history, it gives all that information on the screen, so you don't have to do months or years of back testing. It's right there. And they have other things as well, and they're also coming to Stocks to Trade. I helped get that partnership going.
Okay, so my discount is Mari 10.
There you go. And that should help a lot of people. I've had lots of positive feedback, nothing negative so far. Someone's found something that improves their educational experiences and their performance. And a lot of top traders, I believe, like Mada's Money and some others, use them too.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still working off of, I have 2 laptops in front of me. I have the big screen TV I set up as a monitor. Usually I have videos going on that one, and I have my phone. I've never used so many electronics at once. You know, I'm probably poisoning myself or something, but it's, no, I have room on one of those laptops. I could be running that. So.
Yeah, and it's super simple. It doesn't take up really any extra space. It's just right there on your charts.
Okay. Okay.
I believe it right now. It's for Thinkorswim, TradingView, and then they're they're developing stuff for Stocks to Trade. But definitely check out their website. They do have more information on there.
Oh, and also Tim Sykes is now an affiliate for Scripts to Trade as well.
Oh, is he? Because
yeah.
That's awesome. I was wondering how that's all working, because I know I was helping with behind the scenes to get them working together. I'm so happy.
So it's different indicators that they offer different indicators?
Yeah, it's not just indicators. They have columns, scans, they have a lot of stuff. And they take custom work. So if you have an idea that they don't have on their page, you can contact them. It's easy to contact them. It pops up on the website screen, and you can request your own script or whatever.
Yeah, like they literally build it off of like whatever you want. Like they will make a formula for like whatever you want. If you ask for whatever, they will give it to you. Right now I'm using their scanners, like their gainers, and it shows me all of the gainers based off of like my criteria. So I said 10 million up 10% on the day for OTCs and NASDAQs, and that's what I'm using. Like whatever you say, they will give it to you.
Okay. I think I get overwhelmed with all the stuff I watch pre-market and all the stuff I could be spending on. So that's what I was hoping to chisel down to, like, what are the top 5 things that will help your trading? Because I think I could literally buy 100 things. So I know.
Yeah, so
Guys, I gotta like log out right now.
Okay.
all right, thank you so much for
It was
you.
really nice talking to you guys.
Good seeing
Thank
you.
you.
Okay.
See you guys next time.
Yes. Thank you. Very helpful.
Thank
Absolutely.
you so much.
Thank you,
Nice
Mariana.
meeting you all.
Thank you. Bye.
But yeah, so I don't know if you've watched it, but I was on, I think, episode 154 of the Steady Trade podcast, talking with Kim. And what I first did, and it was actually the beginning of my profitable months, was I focused on one pattern. It was the first red day on listed stocks, because it's pretty easy to recognize the first green day, but you don't know if it's going to have a second green day with listed, like Mariana said, where she won't hold stocks overnight listed because they're more unpredictable. But you could watch to see the first green day, keep it on track, see if it has like 3 green days in a row, and then after the 3rd green day, more than likely it's going to have its first red day for that panic. So I'd only focus on getting consistent, being able to identify that first red day and how to trade it, how far it panicked down, how much it would bounce, stuff like that. And I focused on that for 3 months, and those were the beginning of my profitable months. So if you just focus on it has to go with the trend of the markets too, because like during the hot market, you could find the entire framework in a day or within the week. But in like 2019, where Mariana said she didn't get to experience that boring time, well, I was paper trading, but first green day overnight holds on OTCs were really consistent. So I only focused on first green day overnight holds until that pattern quit working. So it does depend on the trend of the market, but if you can figure out that trend and what you can identify consistently, that really helps as well. Like first green days right now on OTCs, I look for those every day, and it's that spike, consolidation spike, which the sentiment indicator and abnormal volume indicator on scripts to trade really helps me have confidence with that pattern, but it's consistent enough right now where you can identify it. That's not to say that it'll be like that in a couple months from now. It'll be possibly be the next pattern, but you kind of get the idea and the trend.
That makes sense. I was kind of curious what GMER did, because I really thought I'd researched it to death and it went against me, and I really was upset with myself. But I thought now I can back test it and see what I did wrong, or maybe it'll come back up. We'll see. But all right, that sounds good. I'm so glad to have got the chance to speak to you. I mean, this is very helpful, because nobody else is doing this in my area, you know. So
I'm looking at GMER.
I'm glad that it's helpful.
For GMER, you have on 1706, it had that big green day after the several green day run, and then it went sideways, which is the spike consolidation on a larger time frame, and then the spike. So then you have that breakout of that first green day. I think it's, let's see, it says 0107, but it has the 2 big green days, then it has a red day after that. Well, already right there, you have the big green days, you have that red day, which is considered a consolidation day, which is getting ready for a multi-day breakout. And then you had that big green day, yesterday? Which today, or yesterday, you could have considered it overextended. You could have prepared for a second green day today, but because it is kind of extended from the 2 green days last week, you can either prepare for a second green day, but also be aware of its extension for a first red day, or that the first red day like today could be another consolidation. It could have another breakout tomorrow. It could ideally take several days more of red consolidation before another breakout, because it's like a recharge. Tim Grittani's Trading Tickers 1, and I think Trading Tickers 2, really talks about multi-day breakouts, just like this pattern, but specifically Trading Tickers 1. It's basically textbook. So that might help too.
Thank you. No, thank you. No, everything helps, because I don't want to make the same mistakes, and I see my mistakes from January now. I didn't see them then, but I see them now. So I'm just tired of making mistakes, although that ticker could come back up, so we'll see. But anyway, I don't want to keep anybody. I'm just impressed that, you guys there's so many people, like, so young, who are doing stocks, and I'm just blown away. So, but
well, it's good
I'm just proud of this group, and I'm proud that, we can get together and talk about stuff, our watch list, and, just be profitable. But overall, I mean, there's just too many single moms out there, and they need help. I'm not a single mom. I'm not, but I mean, I've always been the mom that took other people's kids because I knew they had to work. I knew how important childcare was and how they had to make a living. So yeah, they can come play with my kids. That's fine too. So I get it. So I really, really get it. There's 3 single moms that I'm talking to right now. I said, watch the videos. It's free. It's on YouTube. See what this guy has to say. And they are watching it right now, but I think they want to see me succeed first. And it's like, okay, because they know I have 0 background in finance, and it's like, well, if she can do it, then this might work. But
you got it.
No, I'm just surprised that more single moms aren't saying this in groups, like, go into day trading, go into this, and just like as a networking thing, like, look, hey, we can all help each other. I'm just surprised that.
They could be in the wrong groups. They may not just be in our group. Like, because I'm a single mom, and thanks to the Steady Trade podcast, people have reached out to me, because I know women, moms, parents, single dads, like a whole bunch of different backgrounds have reached out. But having that social media presence gives them someone to go to, versus where they could be getting scammed. Since I've been out on social media, I have tons of imposters, and I've had people reach out to me saying I stole their money when it was my imposter they gave money to. So I think it's just them figuring out where to navigate, who to navigate to, and not getting scammed. Mm-hmm. That's the experience that I'm having so far. Mm-hmm. So that could be it for the moms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, no, I just think it's more women should be looking at it, and when I look at all the guys involved, I just see a fractional amount of women doing it. So
yeah, well, in 2019, when I first started studying, and I made my Twitter because of a homework assignment because of one of Tim's the Complete Penny Stocking course book, and everyone's like, Tessa, you're gonna be the first millionaire. I'm like, I'm paper trading. There has to be other women out here already way ahead of me. That's gonna come out of the blue. And then there was Mariana. I'm like, I told you guys. So, but since Mariana's come out of the framework, the women have been popping up everywhere. I mean, a year ago, or 2 years ago, there was like no one. I was like one of the few. Or before then, I think it was Airplane Jane, and that's about it. But now that Mariana's here, everyone's like, hey, she's only 20 and she's a girl, and of course Tim promotes it, so it's getting the word out slowly but surely.
And I don't know, Gina, you in the Discord group chat that we have. I mean, I learned a lot from that one, like a lot.
Yes.
Which one?
We have a Discord. I mean,
oh yes, I joined. I don't have a profile on there yet, but I do read through that. Yes.
You have to. That really helped me a lot. Like a lot. It's a lot.
Okay. No, I do peruse it. It's one more thing to add on my list and stuff, but I do. I am so absorbed in stocks. I would not know anything about the latest TV shows or anything, movies. And no, I have no clue what's happening. I don't care. I used to have a regular Twitter account where I could, hear all the stuff that's happening. Nope. I switched it all over to investment Twitter. And I don't even know. I mean, there could be, explosions or somewhere, I wouldn't know what's going on. But, it's all stocks all the time. And if you just focus on that, you kind of just think in terms of stocks. And I think in charts and I think about stuff like that. And oops. But you're right. No, I'll get on Discord group again tonight. So it's since I have the house to myself.
Well, and one person that I love learning from is Kim. She is a degenerate. But no, she is wonderful, and if you're in that chat group in Discord, she'll do one-on-ones with you, which I just did on Saturday. She doesn't like being public, so she'll do one-on-ones, and so I can't share that video with the public. She asked me not to. But she goes over everything, and she's better if you have questions prepared. But I mean, her pattern is the same as mine with that spike consolidation spike, and she takes it to like any kind of consolidation. So she's wonderful to learn from. And I believe, she told me, I forget the name, but I have it recorded. The name of the trader that gave her one-on-one help, and he's successful. And then she's been talking with Mariana and Jack and all of them, so she has she's had a lot of help, and then now she's helping others too in the chat. So definitely recommend it.
Okay, I'll look for her. Okay, so she's just Kim in the Discord group in our group.
She's in the group, yes.
Okay.
Kimmy.
Oh, okay. Oh no, she's the one in this group too, right?
Yeah, Kimmy trades.
Yes.
Trades.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. She's young too, right? Gosh.
Yeah.
All these. So. Okay.
All right,
well,
everyone. We'll hope you have a great night.
Yes, I hope you ladies do too. Thank you for joining again.
Thank you. Okay.
All right, have a good night,
We'll do
guys.
this again soon.